Younger generations have just been conditioned and raised to perceive love as a one-night stand, you know, and to just not take a chance to get out there. Thanks to these platforms such as Tinder and Hinge, it replaced any possibility to form a natural bond. Love is an intense, deep affection for another person. Love also means to feel this deep, intense affection for someone. Love can also refer to a strong like for something or to like something a lot. Love has many other senses, both as a verb and a noun. You know, from asking multiple people in my life what the definition of love is, I always get just a different answer. You know, every time. Even from looking online, it's hard to find the definition, as there are so many ways of explaining how this emotion feels. Love, in my opinion, it's like a broken glass. You know, everyone has their own, you know, similar idea of what this emotion feels like, and they put the pieces together themselves and come up with their own little definition what love feels like. Now, although the definition of love can be somewhat different for each personal person, people seem to get fairly confused on the fine line of the definition of what love is and confusing it with these disgusting tendencies. Now, toxic relationships in the 21st century, they're glorified. Blueface and Christine Rock is a great example. If you don't know who these two individuals are, I'll put it this way. This couple, in my own opinion, is the most disgusting, toxic, abusive relationships I think I've ever seen. Okay, I'm sorry. They're getting famous online for literally abusing each other, both emotionally and physically.
What you gonna do with a newborn baby on the way? Set the house on fire.
A lot of people online look at this couple as goals, you know, and look at some of these comments online. It's outrageous. Anyone with a brain, anyone with a fucking head screwed on, knows this is a trauma bond. What? Hold on. Trauma bonding, in contrast, describes an unhealthy type of attachment towards a specific person that ends up causing trauma. Aside from toxic relationships being glorified online, there's a truly much worser place, I personally feel like, these toxic relationships are being glorified. And that is, thanks to the fucking entertainment industry. I don't even need to name a movie or a book for you to kind of understand what I'm talking about here. I'm sure some of your favorite shows show these poor relationship dynamics. In fact, poor relationship dynamics have been in our fiction for years, and while a bad relationship can make for some great drama, you know, as we can even see a relationship, I don't think the writers, directors, or the actors seem to understand how damaging this can be. I'm serious. Like, the reconciliation of these couples tend to finish with, you know, the happy ending. And a lot of these problems that even made this relationship problematic in the first place seem to just go unaddressed. I mean, this is a really big word. I can't even say the word, but it's looking at you flat in the face right now, and I'm going to describe it. The idea that in order to be happy, every single person needs to get married. Kids, marriage and children. That's the ultimate goal, right, guys? Only lonely, miserable, misanthropic people claim not to want a nuclear family. And 9 times out of 10, those people are lying. I'm sorry, they are. I mean, the idea in which popular culture seems to endorse is a bad relationship, it's better than no relationship, and ending up with a partner is, you know, a sign for a good future. You know, and that partner could be A manipulative, controlling, cheating bastard, but you know what? Better than being alone. Right, guys? The woman in the story is the one causing these problems, being toxic. The story will normally end with the man breaking up with her. Whereas if it's the man who is who's been cheating or is toxic, the story, if I'm not wrong, normally ends with them still together. Let's take an example. War Room, okay? This movie is about this religious woman named Elizabeth. Sounds great, doesn't it? Just bear with me. Who saves her marriage by literally praying in her closet.
Resist the devil.
Now, the movie intends that this marriage is falling apart because of her hubby, Tony Jordan, who is this guy who cheats, disrespects his wife, and to top it all up, literally steals thousands of dollars from a company he works for. And this all goes unaddressed. Do you want to know why? Because that means the marriage would end and Satan would win.
Get out! In Jesus' name!
And on top of all of this, her hubby, Tony Jordan, it doesn't open his eyes completely once throughout the entire movie. I guess it goes to show squinting is a sign of Satan, the devil. This is not what love looks like, and this is not what faith looks like either. If there was any movie to make you lose your faith in God, it's that one. I'm not even joking. War Room is definitely an extreme example. I would admit, movies are more subtle than that and will normally, showcase a man wants a good woman and a woman wants any man. Love between grown-up people is just not a one-sided thing. Toxicity, it's not love, it's toxic. And unfortunately, someone who's constantly just hurting you doesn't love you. I'm sorry, even if their intentions are good, to want to love does not mean to actually love. And I know that phrase sounds romantic. That's the word I was looking for. It just doesn't conquer it. It's Hollywood bollocks. Social media has decided what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like. Relationships as it is, they are hard. Being someone who consumes content online and is also in a relationship can make the process of being in a relationship 10 times harder. It also makes the youth very confused on what is expected in a relationship and what isn't. It's hard, to be honest, to even avoid these videos expressing whether someone loves you or not, thanks to the thousands of videos being made on a daily basis expressing whether someone loves you or not. Here's a video I found on TikTok on what a woman feels is expected from a first date.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option, and neither should you. First of all, I'm not a dog that needs to be walked. Second, I have an espresso machine at home, works fabulous. We're not doing drinks either. You're gonna try to get me drunk and take me back home. No. We are doing dinner. You're gonna pick me up. We're gonna come to the restaurant. We're gonna see your table manners. We're gonna see what you order. We're gonna see, do you hold your chopsticks correctly? We're just gonna, study you a bit. Okay, so dinner it is.
This video has 3.5 million views, and although the comments mainly disagreed with this woman, thank God, there are a lot of people who also agree with her viewpoint and how she feels she deserves a dinner as a first date as opposed to something like a coffee or a drink. Now look, everyone is allowed to have their own standards, but good luck ever finding someone if you're going to analyze to the point of how someone holds a fucking chopstick, woman. I'm sorry, a coffee or going on a walk as a way of getting to know someone now is a below standard thing to do? is quite sad to hear. It is clear to me social media has made people going fucking tapped. They are setting a delusion, a false sense of reality to what a relationship should look like and what is expected from a partner. I think the main problem this generation has is they actually just can't comprehend it too. And it's bad. You know, these days people are choosing partners based on their actual experience, you know, and after the thrill wears off, there's nothing really to fall back on because they're not compatible. Like what happens is they just cheat, and then after cheating they find someone else, and then they'll break up with that partner. According to Alexandra Stockwell, the most commonly understood distinction between lust and love, that lust is purely physical and sexual, whereas love includes care for someone, well behind their function as a source of yearning and sexual gratification. The signs of lust and love. When you think of the person, your thoughts immediately go to what that body can do. Neuter that bastard. When you think of the person, you start smiling, feeling flushed, have sensations of excitement, and being turned on. As soon as you see one another, you want to smooch. Jesus. I want one thing and it's disgusting. And lastly, you don't necessarily have much in common. But when you're touching it, sure, it doesn't matter. The signs of love. You think of interesting things to tell one another. You look forward to meeting friends and family. You share vulnerable, tender things like challenges you are currently facing. You know, that if you live in a different city for a few months, it'll be okay. Will lust become love though? Well, okay, here's the thing. According to relationship experts, lust can become love. But it's not really common. I mean, chances are you're probably not compatible, and that's the problem. Sometimes lust can lead to love, and is often experienced with, you know, in a loving relationship. However, the presence of lust, it speaks to absolutely nothing but the partner's compatibility long term. According to Ned, you know what? I'm not gonna say that guy's name because I feel like I'm gonna say a slur. Okay, what is the meaning of the red flag in relationship? And why some tend to not notice them? Unfortunately, this generation has ruined yet another word. Who would have thought? Red flag. Yeah, okay. Red flags are a warning sign that indicate unhealthy or manipulative behavior. They are not always recognizable at first, which is the part that makes them so dangerous. However, they tend to grow bigger and become more problematic over time. Lust can also make a partner potentially miss a red flag, like selfishness or dishonesty, and can have trouble determining whether a sexual partner is a good fit for a serious relationship. It's why you see people in these shite relationships. It's not because they're fucking colorblind, and it's why they can't see the red flag. It's because they're confusing love with lust. That's actually why. How I believe you find love in this generation. It's possible. Definitely is. Look, I think in order to find love, you need to be available to love. Watching. It means, look, it means you engage with other people. It means you're open about yourself. It means you do not pretend to be someone you're not, or to pretend to have an interest you don't have because you think that's what people want. It means you're transparent. If you fancy someone, you don't play fucking childish games. You don't ignore them in a shite attempt of pretending to be interested in someone. because you feel like it's going to make them start feeling interested in you because you've heard something on TikTok. Instead, when you like someone, just straight up tell them in a clear manner, using that gob of yours, okay? Instead of just with confusing hints. You accept that, look, yeah, they might not like you. You just say it anyway. It means you don't get hung up on how you look or what kind of car you drive then. Instead of telling yourself all the reasons you shouldn't pursue love because you're ugly and unworthy. Say fuck it. Okay, I want you to start from, you know, just assuming you have a value. Even if you don't know what that value is right now. You instead be who you are as a person, okay? And be fucking proud of who you are. Because people who are compatible with you will love you for who you are. And that's the truth. You know, and finally, it means you invest in the skills that make you attractive. Not looks, not money, but rather the things that truly matter in order to be loved. Integrity, self-confidence, communication skills, vulnerability. Yeah, vulnerability. And lastly, authenticity. Do that, and I promise you, finding love will become a bit easier.